Welcome to Gym Owner Freedom. I am Scott Carpenter, and I am a former broke, struggling, frustrated, and overworked gym owner that felt stuck no matter what I did to try and improve the business. Once I realized that the answer wasn't what I thought it was, just getting more clients, and after really doing the math on acquisition and churn rates, I realized I wasn't even playing a winnable game to begin with. With my current price structure, mathematically, there was no way I could afford to pay my staff so I could scale up and out of the business, that I can have the time, the money, the impact, and the freedom that I always knew I was capable of. Once I learned how to add value by selling transformational programs to people who needed more than just workouts, everything changed in my life. Today, I own 6 gyms that all run without me, and I am free to pursue my passion projects and work just because I love to, not because I have to. And if that's a goal that we mutually share together, then this is the show for you. I'm going to teach you the framework to make way more money with less clients and open up a world of possibilities to you. Subscribe, leave a review, and tune in every week. It'll change your life. I promise you that. All right. Well, welcome, guys. This is continuing on our, we've had a series, right? 5X or 6-week challenge. We've been through parts 1 to 4. Today is part 5. And we're going to talk about how to fulfill your high ticket mentorship program. We've talked about kind of how this is different than the regular 6-week nutrition and accountability challenge. And we're going to go into the weeds on like, how do you fulfill this high ticket mentorship program? Something that might be worth $3,000 for something like a 9 or a 12-week program, or even more. We've had people who've done it for way more than that. And so how do you build the value behind it? How do you fulfill something like this where it's worth that money? And it's going to be a good one. Before we get into it, we're going to celebrate T. Hutch as the legend of the week. Dave, give me some updates on T. Hutch.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds made up. So we have to start T. Hutch's journey. He lives in a town of 2,600 people. It might have a Hardee's and a stoplight. Like, I don't even know. Like, I grew up in a town of 5,000. He has 2,600 people in his town. This is what he's done in the last month and a half. $16,000 new business. Okay. Town of 2,700. A guy just joined yesterday, drove 30 miles. So he's like building himself into not a 5-mile celebrity. He's gonna be a 30-mile celebrity. 25 new clients, 1 high ticket, 8 mid ticket, 14 personal training, large group, 2 nutrition. He's also got the open gym access. Okay. Best July in 7 years of business, up 9,000 over last year. He's having the best August ever so far. And he's working with you for his wealth building. So he started his Ally high yield savings. Okay.
Yep.
He's having his illustration done for his whole life policy, the infinite banking policy. And he's also, for you guys, current legends, he's one of our head coaches too. So that's his real passion project. So he's working as our lead fulfillment head coach coordinator. He's like, dude, that's my absolute passion project. And he just met with a builder yesterday. He's having his dream house built. So that's the profit lifestyle. That's what happens. TH has been with us a year and a half. And that's what had happened. He has checked off every single box every single day for the last 18 months. So
Jacks me up. Congrats, T. Hutch. Yeah. So he's been with us for a year and a half. We've been focused. And if you guys missed this is actually a good transition. If you missed the live that we did last Thursday, we took we took a week to kind of talk about, to interrupt this 5X or 6-week challenge training to kind of talk about the profit lifestyle and the fact that we don't just do this to make a lot of money. Yes, that's very important, but it's living the lifestyle. It's building your dream home. It's taking on projects that excite you, right? It's growing in so many different ways. So if you missed that call, go back and watch that. Or shoot me a message, DM me a message, and we will send you that link if you can't find it. Like, where is this thing? But I went in the weeds about all the mistakes I've made, and I've hit rock bottom twice. I actually teared up on that call a few times, which I was not expecting, just because I was kind of processing it for the first time when I was telling some of these stories. And we went around and I showed you all the things that I'm doing to take the profits of the business to build indestructible wealth for me and my family. And I go through all the numbers. It's not theory stuff. And really it's that profit lifestyle. It's make big, sexy profits, turn those profits into indestructible wealth so that you can live the lifestyle that you want to live, how you want to live it. So if you want to work 40 hours a week in your gym, do it. If you want to do other things and help other gym owners like Taylor Hutchinson is doing now, do what he's done, do that, right? If you want to get into real estate investing or you want to spend a month at your vacation cabin, design your lifestyle and go for it, man. What T. Hutch has done in a year and a half has been incredible. His entire life has changed and he's just getting started. So if you haven't watched that training last Thursday, you can go to the Gym Owner Freedom Facebook group and watch it. If you can't find it, just DM me because you do not want to miss that. Craig, you just dropped it in the notes on the Zoom call. That's awesome. Thank you. So yeah, we're focused right here. We're talking about how to fulfill this high ticket mentorship in your 6-week challenge, which is different from your 6-week challenge. This is firmly in step 1, making big, sexy profits, right? And if we break it down into the 3 main things you've got to do, it's really leading with price to win the game. Then it's all about lead flow, right? Bring in the leads. And then it's very simple. You build the team, have them run simple systems, and more or less automate your profits. So we're focused still on the right prices and offers right up here at the top. And over the last 4 sessions, we've taught you how to build out your high, mid, and low ticket offers, right? We've taught you how to sell that, which is a big thing. And now we're moving on to fulfillment. So that's where we're at. Remember, the high ticket, this is this mentorship. Your mid ticket is your $599 to $999 6-week challenge for the most part. Could be a little bit more depending on your model. And then your low ticket is the workouts only. So you know how to do low ticket. If you have a 6-week challenge already, you know how to do that. So we're going to talk about this. So this is something. So we created the 63-day challenge. Well, it's been an evolution, Dave. Like this was before we did high ticket, actually. I was desperately trying to create a nutrition and accountability system that we could take everybody through, no matter what type of client it is, right? But also something that didn't break down when you had your staff do it. Because if there's one thing that I just didn't want to do at that time was do the nutrition coaching accountability for every damn person. And even when I was employed at Lifetime and then started Underground Fitness, I can do it fine and chart and sell it, and I can keep them going on it. But it was when I tried to hand it off to somebody else that it all broke down. And Dave, you remember the first iterations of it, even when it was not electronic. It was on literally the cardstock, however, 20-something page thing, right?
And it was just, man. It was great.
Yep. It was just, and it was really good, but it was just too complicated, which means I can do it and maybe a top performer, but we can't, not everybody can really do that. And it's really hard to teach somebody how to be a good coach and deliver something. And it needs to be this balance of, it needs to be a system that everybody can follow, because you can't have everybody on one-off things, right? It's just too hard to manage, but it's got to be flexible enough to work with anybody, right? So some people maybe use MyFitnessPal and are happy to do it. They've used it for years and we can use that. Some, they're not going to touch it. They're like, nope, flat out, never going to do it. You should be able to work with all of those people. So this structure has to be flexible enough to work with anybody, and it is. And the cool thing is for those of you who are growing online or are online only or want to eventually bolt on an online coaching business on top of your existing gym, kind of like Matt Chenard, wherever his face is, it's not loading. I don't know where it went. But he had launched this inside of his gym. He went through a high ticket program. And then what happened was that he grew online as well. And we started building out his online coaching business. It's the same exact mentorship you're selling. You can just design your pillars how you want to design your pillars. So the 63-day transformation is what we created, and it has evolved over years. And you can see on the left-hand side, let me pull up a bigger graphic on it. This is kind of what we call the iceberg of success, right? And Everything above the water is the success people see, but all the hard work is underneath it, right? And this is what we explain to clients. It all starts with mindset. Nothing, unless you're really geared up to win and to do it and you're committed to it, you're connecting this with something bigger, a bigger reason why you're doing this, a bigger vision for your life and who you're becoming and what you're doing these actions for. You're going to quit. It's going to be a short-term thing. It's no different with you and your business. That's why we did the call last week. Some of you guys are thinking way too small for your business. You're just like, hey, how can I get an extra $5,000 a month recurring? And that's a good start. But we're just thinking month over month over month over month. We're not thinking a year down the road or 3 or 5 or 10. So we need to be connecting this to something greater. Because what happens if you don't do that, you sprint at something and then you fall back. You sprint at something and you fall back. It's no different than the clients you work with. It's no different. It's just they want to like really go for 4 to 8 weeks and then drop off. So we need to connect it. And this is built in the sales process, Dave, right? We really, it's done there and then the onboarding process, which we'll talk about. From there on out, it's just the habits. In order to get somebody lifelong results, you need to change their habits. It's that simple. Everybody on this call doesn't really struggle that much with their health and fitness. Sure, we can ebb and flow a little bit, but those ebbs and flows aren't necessarily by 40 and 50 pounds, right? We're pretty consistent. And it's because these things have become habits for us. Eating well most of the time, working out most of the time. It's just what we do. It's who we are. It's our identity now. That's not how it is for other people. And there's no magic program. You've got to help them change their habits so they can keep their weight loss off forever. Losing weight is not the hard part for these people, guys. It's keeping it off. Would you agree with me? It's that yo-yo, boom, boom, boom. And it just follows motivation. It can't be done that way. We have to change their underlying habits. So we break it down into the workouts, linear strength training. We break it down to daily intentional movement. We break it down to the custom nutrition strategy and any other routines that make things easy for them to implement in their lives. And we'll get into the details on this. And then environment, who you spend your time with will add a lot of friction and resistance to this, or it's going to make it easy. So the fact that they're coming into your gym or they're meeting with you on a regular basis, that changes their environment. They're around positive things, moving them in the direction of their goals. 2 layers of success. One is the external achievement, right? This is the weight loss. This is the strength gain. This is the energy. The internal transformation. This is who they're becoming. There's someone who is now in control of their life. There's somebody now who has direction and purpose when they wake up every day. There's somebody who now doesn't binge and feel super guilty. There's somebody who is in control of their lives, who's moving the right direction, and every day and week, they're taking action. They're putting in votes for the person that they want to become. And it is incredibly empowering when you help somebody take control of their life. And that's what this mentorship is about. So that's kind of the iceberg of success. And then we have a habit tracking system. It's heavily influenced by Atomic Habits. It's heavily influenced by the one thing. It's heavily influenced by the perfect day. It's heavily influenced by a lot of different resources. But if we zoom out for a second, we sign them up for this mentorship. They are ready to change because we've knocked out that sales process. And they're like, you know what, Dave? I'm finally ready to change my life. I'm finally ready to stop half-assing this for the last 13 years like I have and just feeling like guilt and like shit. I'm ready to do this once and for all and make this life change. Awesome. We got the mindset, right? Now let's build out the habits. What do they need to do every day and week to get from where they're at now to where they want to be? And that's simple. Where a lot of people make the mistake is they educate too much. The different kinds of protein, how carbohydrates break down in the body. People don't give a shit about that. You and I do. We are fitness nerds. We geek out on that. We can read fitness and nutrition articles all the time. We geek out on that stuff. That is not everybody else. Don't even talk to them about that. And I always joked around because when I worked at Lifetime, like we sold by like, look how much knowledge I have. Let me tell you about the Krebs cycle and why we need to optimize your metabolic, blah, 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 right? They don't give a rat's ass about it. Like, let's just keep the main thing the main thing. So the cool thing is you don't have to be a nutritionist to do this. You don't have to be a dietitian to do this. You actually have to talk so little about that stuff, it's not even funny. And the less you talk about that science crap, the more successful you're going to be as a mentor. I promise you. Absolutely promise you. So we sign them up, right? Dave teaches you how to sell that thing better than anybody on the planet. They are ready to change their life. We book out their onboarding session before they leave. We attach, we get them set up, and we attach the sheet to them. We rename it with their name. We connect it to their Google account, which everybody has. They can get it right there on their phone. They can pull it up on any computer. And we have them fill out their onboarding homework. We have them write down their reasons why they really want to make this change. We have them write down their big goals. We have them write down their starting measurements. We have them write down what days and times they can schedule workouts, injuries and limitations. We don't spend our time. It takes you an hour to get through all this stuff if you just did it with them. The intake, and then you got to build their plan. So this is streamlined. They start off on their homework right away. They leave and they have homework to do. This cuts down on some of them backing out too. Like, bam, we get it connected. They're out the door. They're doing their homework. We've got our onboarding session booked. They're writing out how they currently eat, right? For their different snacks and meals, their variations. When are you hungriest? How many times a week do you eat or get takeout? How many times do you eat a meal that you're not in charge of or don't prepare? And what liquid calories do you consume? It asks some of these in a couple different ways. Why? Because people lie, whether they know they're lying or not. But when you ask them a couple different times, right, the truth starts coming out. I can't tell you how many times somebody's told me, oh, I don't really snack. I'm not a big snacker, right? And then 2 minutes later, I'll ask them, so when you do snack, like when you go off the rails, like what do you normally have? Oh, potato chips. I mean, it's like a couple times a week. If I open that thing up, I'll eat the whole bag. It's like, motherfucker, you just told me 2 minutes ago you never snack. Like, that's the reality, right? That's what people do. It's like a brain aneurysm. I don't understand it. It's so wild to me how they don't get anything at all. So like it asks them several different things, and it gives you don't want to sit there and take an hour to do all this. They do this on their own, right? And they mark what protein sources do you like, what veggies, what carbs. Because you know what happens as soon as you start giving examples of meals or like, oh, I just want a meal plan. No, you don't. But let's say you give it to them. Oh, well, I don't like this. Can I have this instead? Can I have that? It's all these things happen. You guys know everybody's like smiling and laughing because you're like, yeah, every single time. So this will save you so much time later on. And then routines and habits. What time do you wake up? Is it regular? Is it a different time? Some people are just scrolling on their phones until 11 o'clock at night on Instagram, right? What does their schedule look like, right? What all these different things. So we get an idea of what their lifestyle is like. You know, are they in control of the meals? Is it more of their spouse, right? That affects their environment, things like that. So we get all of that. We have them do all of that. And then what we do is we sit down, we build out a plan for them. And here's an example. So right front and center, we have, hey, what are their reasons why? Why is this important for you to be able to see in an instant? The reason is because people can be doing great. They're like 15 pounds down in 8 weeks and they want to lose 40. And that's phenomenal, but they're ready to quit. Happens all the time, doesn't it? It's like, you're insane. Like, we need to connect this to that bigger reasons why again. We need to remind them of that. So it's always up here for us. And the 9-week goals, what we're going to focus on the next 9 weeks, is always there for you as well. But you're going to build out their habits on the left-hand side here. So this is where you have all the flexibility in the world to work with somebody. So maybe they're familiar with MyFitnessPal. They love it. They want to do it. Great. I can write in maybe a calorie goal, a range that I want them in, and a protein floor, right? I want you between 1,400 to 1,600 calories, and I want your protein above 80 grams. You could do that. right? Take, for instance, this is somebody, let's just say, hey, their eating is all over the place. You know you've got to take them at baby steps because they've been horrendous for the last decade. So all you're going to start with is I'm going to have you bring in I want you eating at least 30 grams of protein at each meal. You might just start there. That's simple with somebody. And that is the nutrition habit that you're building in there. And you're going to set 6 times a week. I'm going to give you Saturday or Sunday off, whatever you want. Okay. 6 days a week, we're going to do that. Then remember, if we go to that iceberg, we got some type of movement, we got strength training, we've got nutrition, we've got routines, right? So let's take a look at how we can build that. So on the nutrition side, let's say you're starting with a beginner, 30 grams at every meal, and you discuss how that's going to be done, right? We have supporting resources all built in here. I'll show you that in a minute. And for the workouts, let's say your business is Greenlight Personal Training, like one of our brands. Cool. You're coming in here 3 times a week. Got it. So I'm going to put 3 times a week over here. For some people, it might be 2, right? For some people, it might be 4. Whatever you do, you can write the goal over here on the right-hand side. And for the daily movement, maybe they got a dog. Cool. I'm going to have you walk the dog for 15 minutes on your days when you're not working out. You could do it every day. We could change that to 7, right? Or we could put this at 4 days a week when you're not coming to the gym. And maybe it's just like they've from their onboarding homework, you find out they don't have a consistent bedtime. And sometimes they're up late watching Netflix, and sometimes they're not. They wake up and they're tired and exhausted. So you're like, what if we put your phone to bed and get you in bed by 10 p.m.? So you can wake up and like you're refreshed instead of just falling behind all the time. Maybe that's the habit you build. Could be totally different for somebody else. Dave, what are other things that you build in there for like a habit?
Oh man, that's the fun. My favorite part of the onboarding is that you never tell them what to do. You have a discussion and then you're
Yep.
asking the questions like, hey, what's something that you know you should be doing in your life and you're not doing it? So like Keith, who I still mentor to this day, he's doing we teach relationship deposits. He's doing a business relationship deposit. So that's what's really cool is just through the conversation. It's like you're never telling them what to do. You're in a conversation and you're just leading them on, hey, if you do X, Y, and Z, what's the potential over the course of the next 9 to 12 weeks? So I've had everything from read 10 minutes of a Bible, listen to a podcast. That's my favorite part. I always challenge them, hey, pick 2 or 3 things that aren't traditional fitness habits that you want to focus on. And you kind of give them a blank slate and they take it and design their own plan through your guidance.
Yeah, this is a discussion. I'm not just creating these. I'm looking at their onboarding homework and we're talking about it. What are they willing to do? What are they not willing to do? You know what a problem that fitness nerds like us do all the time is whatever we do, that's what we want to give to them. Right? And so meatheads, Dave, you're a former bodybuilder. You know what I mean? And you know what I see with these former bodybuilders all the time? It's just like you give them the worst fucking diet plans in the world. It's like, well, here's some boiled chicken and put a little bit of salt on that. Then you're going to go ahead and make all this brown rice and put it in these containers, and then some broccoli. And for dessert, you can have as many buckets of your own tears that you can drink. That's what people do. Hey, that works for Johnny Meathead, who has no kids and his whole life is in the gym and all he has is the back thong tank tops, right? But for your ideal client, right, who's 48 years old, who has 3 kids, like, forget it. Ain't happening. So a big mistake is we want to give them what we do. Not going to happen. So it's a discussion, right? Everybody can be different. I remember doing one for a lady and she was kind of crazy, but I designed, like, she was the ones who does like the 2 Starbucks a day and like for 700 calories each and then this and then this and then this. So we literally just built in what her sub, like what we're going to sub out in Starbucks for her. And we had to change very little to start with. And she was like disappointed. She's like, well, this is almost pretty much what I'm already eating. And I'm like, yeah, exactly. And we just shaved 1,000 calories off. You're going to lose weight and not even try. And she was crazy. So it still didn't even sink in. But like, it's like she expected me to put her on a bone broth diet or something like that. I'm like, what? The whole point is let's make this shit easy. That's how you build these. That's how you sustain this for a lifestyle. You know, you've got to be realistic about things. And that's the cool thing. Like, it's a discussion. You guys are going to figure this out together. And what Dave was talking about, that other habit, yeah, man, like this is how we keep them going for not just 63 days. This is how we keep them going for 6 months, a year, 2, 3. You're helping them become the person that they want to become. And so sometimes, like Dave, like you've been working with Keith for years. He doesn't really have the physical goals anymore. He's got to maintain stuff, but it's like, how do you help him in different ways? I remember you worked with somebody who, like, they haven't gotten in touch with, like, they were an artist. And at some point they had kids and got busy, and they haven't done any art for like 2 or 3 years. Like, I just want to start painting again. And you put a thing in there for once a week to do something with that. You know what I mean? And it's just like, you're helping them become, you're changing their identity. You're helping them live the best life. This is why we call it a mentorship. It can be a small thing or it can be a big thing. A small thing to somebody could actually be a big thing. You're going to empower them to be the person that they need to become. And it's pretty cool. So, like, I still do this. This started out as a personal project for me. And it's been through a lot of iterations. Mine looks a little bit different because I customize it for me, which, Jay, you just asked, hey, can I get this for me and to use with my clients? It's updated. So no problem. I just sent it to you an hour ago. But I have my mission up here. I got my year goals. I got my month goals. And these are the things that I'm currently tracking and how often. And I have done this for 4+ years at this point. It started as a personal project for me. Then I used it to work with a couple clients. They got better results than anything I've ever seen. Because keep in mind, guys, this is just on your phone. This is not my phone. It's recording me right now. But they can get this on their phone. They get this on a laptop. You can get it anywhere. There's no usernames or passwords once you sync it up once. There's no excuses. And it's so easy. And I'll show you on the coaching and mentorship side why it saves so much time in just a second. But this is stuff that I fill out. And once you have the habits that you do, you just check the boxes. And normally I do it on my phone, right? And you just check the boxes on it. Like, I've already got them checked, and you can see compliance, right? Because what happens if you don't do something like this? How'd it go? Oh, pretty good. Could have been better here and there, but overall pretty good. That's what everybody says. It doesn't tell you anything. But here, I can see you're 95% compliant. That's phenomenal. Holy shit, you crushed it. It's amazing. Hey, just a quick reminder to everybody, if you are ready to start making an extra $10,000 more this month, every month, by making more money with less clients with transformational programs, and create a consistent flow of high-quality leads, you can learn more about what it's like to work with me and my team at PT Legends and how ridiculously affordable it is at CoachScottCarpenter.com. It is such a no-brainer that it more than pays for itself when we teach you how to enroll just two case study clients. Really, that's it. So go to CoachScottCarpenter.com and learn more about it. And so we build out this onboarding plan, and it's a discussion, right? Cecilia, we need the Spanish version. Yes, I nominate you too, because I don't know Spanish with anything. I know a little bit of French. That's it. But yeah, you're right, Cecilia. We need to get a Spanish version. And actually, no, we can do that on the graphic side. We'll do that on the graphic side if you want. That's easy for us to do. Raj, we'll shoot it your way, have you edit it. But yeah, so we have this weekly onboarding session, okay? And then what we do is we do a weekly mentorship call. Your first couple might be a little bit longer, 30, 40 minutes, but you can probably get this done in about 15, 20 minutes, just depending on who you're working with, what you need to go through. And what we're doing at the end of the week, you can put any measurements, any updated measurements. That's up to you to track. Everybody does different measurements, right? If you're going to track measurements, put it in there. You celebrate what went well this week, okay? And you need to celebrate the wins. Even if they had a tough week, there's something that went well. Even the fact that they're here on this call with you, even though their work blew up and they screwed the pooch on nutrition, whatever, the fact of the matter is they're here. And that's awesome. Because what happens? People quit. They experience a setback. They get sick, and then they get caught up on work, and then a travel thing happens, and then it's 5 years since they work out again. That's what happens. So find the wins, right? The wins, you'd be surprised. They're pretty awesome quite often. So in this instance, like feels way more motivated, energetic. Breakfast is 100% locked in and easy. Loves the shakes. Because like, let's say for instance, for breakfast, 30 grams is tough for people. It's like, dude, just have a bowl of oatmeal or an apple and a Premier Protein shake at Costco, right? You might help them build it that way. Already down 2 pounds. Great. And for any specific weekly action items, you can put it down there. So track every day this week, buy some Premier Protein shakes at Costco so breakfast is easier, right? Put whatever it is specific to them. So number 1, what went well this week? Number 2, what did I struggle with this week? This is where you just coach. You don't need to teach about different kinds of protein and how they denature and this and crap. What did you struggle with? I'm getting really bored with just plain chicken breasts, right? So maybe it's that. Okay, so then that's what your discussion is based on. So wherever they struggled, help them through it. So first, you can write your coach's notes here. Amazing first week. Because they struggle with that, well, let's introduce some different protein options, right? And you can go to their onboarding homework to see what they checked off. Okay, so you like this. And you can just share something you do. Like, do you like burgers? Yeah. All right. Well, let's get you some 93.7 or 96.4, whatever you want. Burgers, throw them on there. I like to throw them on sweet Hawaiian rolls. It's delicious. And right. And because normally people get the 80-20 stuff and that throws stuff off. Like, just teach them. It's super easy. They need more variety with their protein. Cool. Let's do burgers. Also, there's some badass low to no calorie sauces that you can have that are so damn good. It's ridiculous. Like G. Hughes line. I don't know if you guys know G. Hughes, like barbecue sauce. They have a sweet Thai chili sauce. They've got a teriyaki. They got a pineapple ginger. They're freaking delicious. Like they have negligible calories. Go out and try some shit. So what I would do then is go down to week 2. One of the action items on the weekly is buy G. Hughes sauces at Safeway or Amazon, right? Right in there. And there's any nutrition sources or exercise sources you guys need to help you. Your clients can get this by clicking the upper right resources. Maybe they have a tight lower back and you need them to foam roll and stretch their glutes. All that stuff is in here. So there's a foam rolling guide, right? There's a stretching guide, right? You can tell them what to do, and it's all linked in here. And if it's nutrition, like I was talking about, they click on, they need the low and no calorie sauce guides, or you're running a pick one plan, or they don't really know jack squat about macronutrients. Like all this stuff is linked in here. So everything lives within one document. You're not like, oh, I'll email you this. I'll email you. No, it's all built in here. And by the way, you can private label this. So everybody in our program, we give our entire 63-day transformation to that you can use as is, or you can white label it. If you'd rather do a 12-week program instead of a 9-week program, no problem. No problem. This can be extended to do that. It's totally customizable. But yeah, essentially, this is what you do. They can log it on their phone or at a computer. And at the end of every week, you make your notes right in here. Next week, you may or may not change any habits, but start small and start adding on later when they're ready for it. Don't give the mistake of doing too much too soon, because what happens? They get overwhelmed. It's too much. So start small. But yeah, I mean, I could give a MyFitnessPal goal up here, right? So take, for instance, this week, what went well? They're feeling in control of their life. They're not spinning out of control now. They're getting great momentum. Feels sustainable for the first time ever. And they're down another 2 pounds and 1 inch off their abdomen. Amazing. So it's not just about the external results, guys. It's not about that. What did they struggle with? Let's say they struggle with eating late at night. Like, hey, cool, I'm getting the 30 grams at each meal. That's actually easy now. I like the burgers. Like, this is good. I feel great about this. I'm finding I'm like kind of pigging out at night when we're watching, House of Dragons, right? So it's a discussion. What are you willing to do? What are you willing to not do, right? Maybe you decide to limit their nighttime snack to 250 calories or less. So they can still have whatever the hell they want. But you guys, what are some things that you like for that? Oh, I like fudgesicles. They're like 100 calories. Cool, you can have a couple of those. Or my wife buys these chocolate pretzel bars, the Nugo ones. My wife does. They're delicious. Cool. Have one of those. Maybe it's rice cakes, whatever it is. But you can kind of write your notes, and then, you can stock up on fudgesicles, pretzel bars, and rice cakes, right? And they just check if they've done it or not. But you can see exactly how they did according to plan. You can celebrate the wins. You can adjust for the struggles, all that kind of stuff. Does that make sense, guys? Did I explain that well enough, Dave?
Perfect. It's a perfect explanation.
Okay. And the cool thing is everything's at your fingertips. I understand, guys, the fact that this is in Google Sheets seems so freaking archaic with all the apps out there in the world. Okay. It seems so archaic. And some of those apps are good. Some of the people that use our systems are able to use the same 63-day transformation within their apps. Some of them can actually put this Google Sheet link in there too. But I tell you what, we have used this in our gyms for years and years and years and years. And it works so much better than a lot of the apps that we've used. And the reason is because the coaching is so easy. How many times can you not remember? You're sitting down with somebody for this weekly appointment. You're like, what the F did we talk about last time? If you're a business owner, you're doing a million different things. You need to be able to see stuff really quickly. You're like, oh, wait, crap. What was the homework I gave them last week? And it's right in there. What was it the week before? And you can scroll up 5 weeks to see where their weight was. You need to reference like their reasons why. You need to reference their 9-week goals and the focus. Like you need to see it. Like, what do we talk about? Oh, yeah. How'd you do on that one? It's all right here. And they can see everything too. So they can get like this week view and see how they're doing on it. And the cool thing is any additional resources, you don't have to email it. They're connected on here. Let's say even you had an intro video for the first 9 weeks. You could literally say, write it in here. Watch week 1 video, right? And you can link it, copy and paste your link in here, and you have a default template, and you can like indoctrinate them into your methods and educate them over time with the videos. And they check it off, and you see whether they did it or not. So it's a really good way to go. And the cool thing is at week 5. So we'll talk more about this next week, but we're going to tell you like how you can renew these things. We had Shannon Logan on not too long ago. She was sharing her amazing renewal statistics, and people going through this, she renews about 90% of them and now gets them in 12-month EFTs for $775 a month and up. There's a very specific way we do this renewal process, and it is literally built in here because we don't want you to miss it. And again, we're all about scalability. We don't want your staff to miss it. So we built it in where you run into it to give us homework at the end of week 5. And we'll talk about that next week, but they fill this out and it's going to get renewals, it's going to get referrals, and it's going to get reviews. And you're going to ace this thing and turn them into a 6 to 12-month client on EFT for huge dollars. So that's the gist of it. But zooming back out, the mentorship, right? We sell it. We connect their tracker. We give them the homework to fill out their onboarding homework. We do a one-on-one onboarding session, and then we just meet with them for a weekly mentorship calls. Now, down the road, you can go to every other week or less for after your 9 weeks. We'll get to that in the renewal conversations. But that's the gist of it. Dave has even created a newer version where if you want to have them fill out an electronic weekly report card for the recap, they can just put it in there and you kind of get their wins, their learning lessons, and their struggles and a little bit more. So that's another version, and you guys can choose the one that you want. But really, yeah, you're just changing habits over time as they grow and develop. The things that I'm tracked, I can't, over 4+ years, the things that I have tracked have changed 30 times because I shift things around, and it's constantly optimizing my lifestyle. And it's constantly like, what do I need to do every day and week to become the person I need to become? These things have shifted all the time. I do this myself. So at the end of the week, I celebrate my wins. I look at where I struggled, and then I coach myself on how can I improve next week. And then I put my agenda, my priorities for the next week in there, and I do the same thing. I have done this for over 4 years, and I am now a superhuman version of Scott Carpenter. I can run circles around myself. And when you do this for yourself, you will become the most amazing mentor. And now you are walking the walk, not just talking the talk. And it's helped me sell. When I was selling this, I just pull it open on my phone. Here's mine. Here's what I've been doing. Here's how it's helping me. Here's how I'm kicking ass in life. And it is no joke. It does so well. Mine is less about the physical stuff and exercise and nutrition, and usually more about the things I need to do every day. And it's changed from meditating to, my daily routine has changed over the years. Whatever you want to get good at, like, it's changed a lot. My bedtime has changed, or whatever it is, my nighttime routines. But you're constantly evaluating and modifying to become the person that you want to become. It's just a simple process, guys, but it's habits. Everything is habits. In order for you to become the person that you want to become, to get what you want to accomplish in life, it's just all about what you got to do every day and week. It's simple. And you got to track this stuff. If you want to build a life, if you want to live the profit lifestyle that we talked about last week, you need the right plan, and all you need to do is execute that plan. And those are the only two variables. You might need a new plan or adjust your current plan, and then it just comes down to doing it. That's it. It's not complicated. It really isn't. And yeah, you need somebody to help you get the right plan and give you the shortcuts. That's why they're going to pay you. And that's why all of you should always have a coach for whatever it is you need to get better at in life. Business, health, wealth, and relationships. Those are the three main things, right? I'm always working with a coach where I need to get better. I'll get there faster. I will get the right plan. Absolutely. And I'll get the guidance, and a lot of times the accountability and mentorship, depending on what it is, right? But that's the gist of it. What else do we have to go over here? We will talk again about how to convert these into 12-month clients on EFT. But Taylor Hutchinson, you mentioned, the legend of the week. He's somebody who's just, boom, showing up. He's somebody who was 6-week challenge gyms. He sells a lot of the mid-ticket, but he also sells the high ticket. The cool thing is, too, for the mid-ticket, you guys already might have a program in place. But guess what? You can do this exact same thing. The 63-day transformation, you can use it. And all you got to do is build out their plan, or just give them a canned program that you give for everybody, since it's a mid-ticket one, right? And then you don't need to do the mentorship check-ins. You don't need to do it over Zoom or in person. You can just check in with them virtually. That's it. So your high ticket and your mid-ticket program can be identical. It's just the level of involvement. And that's the beautiful thing. Now you're running a simple business that you can execute, that your staff can execute. It's really easy. A good example of a 6-week challenge gym is Sierra. She has just crushed it. She was stuck around the 25K mark, as you can see from her text. And she started selling high ticket. And some of them were still mid ticket, right? Her 6-week challenge, but she went from 25K to 53K in a month, right? Not everybody bought high ticket, but a good amount did. Change the game. But it's not going to throw that big of a wrench into fulfillment, because you can sell the same damn process, just do it differently. For those of you, like I mentioned, that have in the gym stuff, but also online stuff, or you want to, right? Latasha's crushing it. She's selling her, if you can see, 4,997, 5K packages. She's selling multiple. Her other one's at 3K. 3K and a 5K option. Showed you Matt Chenard earlier, same kind of thing. But another good example is, we mentioned her earlier, Shannon. She's got her gym, right? She's now got her staff doing all the fulfillment of her 63-day transformation. And she is just running and growing the Fit CEO now, which is her online coaching business, because she loves spending months at a time at her cabin in Maine. Her focus is on raising her daughter, and she wants to be independent of the gym location. So this works, whether it's in person or whether it's online. It's the same program. Literally, the only thing that changes, guys, is the method of the delivery of the workouts, whether they're coming into your gym to work out or whether you're sending them the workouts to do on their own. That is it. That is completely it. So the cool thing is this works solely online as well as at brick and mortar and everything in between, making it the most versatile system. And this is why, Dave, you and I have been able to scale this and teach all our owners and GMs, and then they've taught the people that are fulfilling it, and it's spread around the world. People are doing this in multiple countries all over the place, hundreds at this point, Dave. And it's super easy. Like, you have a folder with your clients, you just duplicate this and then you connect it to them. You hit the share button, connect them as an editor, add their account in there, and make sure they got Google Sheets on their phone, which 95% of them do, and you are off to the races. You are off to the races. Some owners prefer to do their mentorship sessions in person. Others prefer to do it over the phone or Zoom. I like it over phone or Zoom because they don't have to come in for another session, but that's up to you, right? That's your call. Jeff, he does really well with it. He loves to do it in person. Cool. If you've got multiple locations, you can have one person that fulfills this that works for multiple locations, just as over Zoom. We have Christina. Christina Krug fulfills ours, right? For multiple locations. Super scalable. Super duper scalable. Now, some of you have asked about getting this. So this 63-day transformation. All our legends and the people that we work with have this. It's free. You get it once, you get a lifetime license to use it. You get a lifetime license to private label it. So an instance of like Shannon, she's got her Fit CEO version, right? And white labeled it for that to speak to that avatar. She's also got it for TrueCore. And so you can change the colors and you can put your labels on it. You can do all that kind of stuff, but you get all the resources in there. People that work with us, whether it's in our high ticket launch program or our profit lifestyle mastermind, you get this totally free. We have sold this. I don't know why are my pictures not showing up. Can you see this? Is it blank right here?
That's blank.
That is bizarre. Let me just try and refresh it. If you don't have a high ticket program to sell, there we go. That was weird. Strange glitch. If you don't have a high ticket program to sell, you get it free when you work with us. We have sold it by itself when people by request. If you're not sure what would be good for you, this QR code right here or ptlegends.com/quiz. Craig or Josh, if you could put that in the Facebook group for people watching on Facebook Live. You can actually book out a 15-minute call with us. And most of the people will want to work with us in our high ticket launch program, where we're literally going to just every step that we've been taking you through, we teach you how to do. Build, sell, fulfill, renew, boom. We also have a mastermind where you get this whole thing free, which we just announced too, which is pretty awesome. But if you want to learn more about that or using our program, just book a quick call. You're going to hop on with Craig, who's also on this call, which is pretty cool. And if you wanted to talk about like working with us or a mastermind, what we'll do is, this isn't a sales call, so we'd set up another one to deep dive. We don't want to just get you in it if you don't totally know what it is. We want to make sure it's a good fit for you first before we spend time to show you the ins and outs. And we want to learn kind of exactly where your business is at. But for those of you who would just want this and to go with it, book that call and we can figure it out one way or another. If you just got general questions you want to run by and ask Craig, that's fine too. But that is fulfillment. Next week, what we're going to do is hit the last phase, Dave. So on the last phase, this is going to be 6 of 6, correct?
Correct.
Yep. So we've taken you through to build this high ticket program to bolt it on to your existing business model, no matter what that is. We've taught you how it works in conjunction with your 6-week challenge, taught you how to sell it, discovery call, perfect consultation, taught you how to fulfill it. And by the way, what I left out, I totally forgot. Dave created this awesome, Dave and T. Hutch, I think. entire guide on really how to be an amazing coach and mentor. If your hang up is like, I get it, but I'm like, I don't know if I got the chops to do it. There's a great guide on it. There's plenty of videos. And this is what we have calls on a regular basis to teach you how to be a really good mentor, coach, and mentor. It's so empowering when you learn how to do this. And if you're watching this call and you don't have the chops on it, you need to. You can't just be a rep counter, guys. That's not what people don't really want that. You can't be, you got to be good at coaching. You have to be influential to help them change their life. When you learn these skill sets, I don't care what you do now or in the future, you're going to be successful. So there's a lot of support and resources on how to be good coach and mentor. Sorry, I left that out. So, but build, sell, fulfill. And next week, we're going to go over the last one, which is renew. So how do we, at week 6, renew these people and get them to do a high ticket program for an entire year? When you do that, everything will change in your life, like big time, big time, big time, big time. Then you can really make the big, sexy profits. And from there on out, it's just turn it into indestructible wealth so you can live the lifestyle that you're looking for. Thanks for listening, everyone. If you are ready to start making an extra $10,000 a month or more this month by making more money with less clients and create a consistent flow of high-quality leads, you can learn about what it's like to work with me and how ridiculously affordable it is at CoachScottCarpenter.com. And if you got any value out of this episode, please pay it forward and leave a review for this show. It helps other gym owners find the answers to the huge problems that we all share. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you on the next episode.